of our HTML lesson series. Today we're going to look at basic examples in HTML document coding. Now you can have on the screen, in our lecture screen, we have all HTML document must start with a document type declaration, which is what we have here. Then the HTML document itself begins with the HTML tag and ends with HTML here. The difference between this and this is just the / here. Now, the visible part of the HTML document is between the body element and the closing body element, and that is all the information you will want people to read will be placed in between the body element and the closing body element with their different tags, just as you can see on this example here. You can see the doc type declared, the HTML declared, the body declared, and the content that people will read are declared in between here. So the body here is the closing part and HTML is the closing part of the HTML. So the content you want people to read should not be placed after HTML or after the body element has been closed. So what actually is this doc type declaration? You can see that the doc type declaration represents the document type and helps browsers to display web pages correctly. And it must appear once at the top of the page before any HTML tags, just as I've said before. So the doc type is not case sensitive, meaning that it can be written in small letters or in capital letters. Now from here you are seeing H1. These are the headings as we have in our note here. So we have headings. Headings are the captions that are given on the document side of the web page. So you have from H1 to H6, and H1 defines the most important heading in your document, while H6 defines the least important heading you have in your document. The code to implement this is this. So you can have H1, H2, H3, and so on, and they must be closed with the /. Now paragraphs, the paragraph code is this P, and the content of the paragraph is placed in between. Though a paragraph can be long and you can break it with the BR code, but the tag is very much essential, and when it gets started it must be closed as we have here. Now the code for adding links in a web page is what we have as the A tag here. So look at the example here, A, and href here means hyperreference. The hyperreference will be followed by =, and the link or the address where you are linking to will be followed or will be placed in between the quotes. You can see https and //www.educator.digiweb.com, which is the address of our learning platform. Then the content that is linked is placed after the closing tag of the A link here. Then this is what is linked, and this is what people, when they click here, they will be taken to this website here. So this must not include, you should not take this and place it inside here or inside any of this place, otherwise you will have a reference error. Now when you have linked the button or the content, ensure that you close the A tag just as you started it here. It must be closed like this. So images are linked with the src tag. A src tag, the src is placed inside the img tag, which is what you have here. So what you follow in the img tag is src, and followed by the width and the height of the image you want to include in your web page. So look at an example. The img tag is declared here. Img means image, while src means source. So image source equal to quote educator.jpg. Educator.jpg is the image name, and the file extension is .jpg. This image is stored in a location in the website. Now the alternate name for this image, in case the image did not load very well, is educator.digiweb.com, so that if the image did not load very well, the reader will now see alternate name as educator.digiweb.com. The width of that image is determined by the width property, and the size is 104. You can put px for pixel, and you can put height as you have here. You can put pixel in height, and you can also put the pixel in width. This determines and details the browser, yes, actually this is the size you are going to display the image. So if you have implemented all this code, you can view your web page by just right clicking on the HTML file and click on view, or double click on the HTML file. It will be open with your favorite browser, and you now see the result. So let's get started with our favorite text editor. I have Sublime Text Editor here, so this is my favorite text editor. So let me start a new file so that we begin. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to save the file with my HTML extension. The location where this is going to be saved is document and in a folder called Code Lab. So I'm going to call this HTML basic example. So, and I'll put .html, or I'll choose the HTML from the options here. I'll choose this encoding here, but I have already defined that here, so I don't need to say that. So I click on save. Good. Now I'll begin by putting the exclamation sign, just as I said, doc type, then give space HTML, then close the tag. Next I'm going to have is my HTML again declared. Next I'm going to have the head. Though I didn't talk about the head. The head is the section that houses the title that appears on the browser's title bar. So let's declare that now immediately. So title, title, this is a document. This is a document. So I'll come down and close the title here. Oh, the title is already closed. So, and that's one thing I like Sublime Text Editor. So when you start it, it automatically closes it for you immediately. So let's close the head section here. Good, the head is closed. So let's start the body section. This is the body. Good. This in between this body now is where we're going to have every content you want our readers to read. So here we will declare, we'll start with the heading H1. Remember what I said about the heading. So this is my first heading. So I'm going to close the first heading here. Good. Now the next I'm going to have is my paragraph. So let me declare my paragraph code P. So this is P, and this is my paragraph. Good. So I'm going to close the paragraph. Good. Now the next I'm going to have is to close the body, close the HTML that is open. Good. Now you can see all the code I have created. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to press Ctrl S on the keyboard, or I go to File and click on Save to save it. Now let us view the result of this code, the output of this code, how it looks like. I will quickly go to the location where I have saved my code. Go to my document, go to Code Lab, double click on Code Lab. You can see HTML basic examples. So I will double click on it and it will open with my default browser. Good. You can see this is my first heading. This is my paragraph. And you can see this is a document. This one is found in the title position, while this one is in the heading position, while this is the paragraph position. This document you are seeing here are the ones that are in between the body, the opening body element, and the closing body element, while here this one is the title. Let's look at the code again, how they are. So this is a title, this is a document, just as we have here. Now this is this is my first heading, just as we have here. The code has been interpreted. The code has been interpreted by the browser and got hidden. Then we only see the output on the page. This is how all the documents and the news you read on the internet, how they are created. So if you have any question for me, we're going to continue from this lesson in other editions. So if you have any question, just quickly drop it for me through the social channels and our communication channels. See you again in our next lesson.